Hi everyone, it's Andrew Gaffney. I'm here today to talk to you about 6 traits of successful account-based strategies. We're going to share with you some of the best practices and takeaways from the many case studies we've done and within ABM In Action. So the first for us is around audience, and there's 2 elements of that. Audience is first to be really focused on audience. We see a lot of companies that have focused on building out their ideal customer profile. So looking at some data from their CRM systems and other intelligence that they gather to say, these are the customers that really succeed well with us. We're going to find more that look like them. The other is to look at it more of a broader lens, and we talk about total addressable market, or TAM. So if you feel like you've got that first part nailed and you know really the perfect fits, what are broader fits? What are maybe some verticals that you may not be looking at today that have appeal for you? And we see a lot of opportunities there. We see companies using things like intent data and predictive to uncover maybe some of the opportunities that their sales team or marketing aren't currently focused on. The other element of that we're seeing a real switch around is orchestration. So making sure you have coordinated plays, not only just from a marketing standpoint, but how that messaging is coordinated and consistent when it gets to the sales team as well. So it's not marketing is sending a white paper about X and talking in this way, and then sales comes in and presents a totally different message. So building out sequence plays, we hear that term plays a lot. And companies are making sure that that's really coordinated and consistent as what the offer is, how sales is following up, and then thinking about what the outcome that they want to come out of that engagement. So it might be just initial awareness, it might be getting a first conversation, or it might be trying to close the deal. But that's plotted out early, and they have tools to help them map it out and track it. Now, obviously, the other thing that's different about account-based is having a distinct approach from a content and messaging standpoint. It obviously needs to be much more focused. It needs to be tailored to the different audiences you're talking about. So if you're going after financial services as a vertical, if you're going after large companies, making sure that your content can speak uniquely and distinctly to them. And because you're going to need to do that across different sectors, that obviously needs to be something that's scalable. So we see companies using tailored templates where they can say, okay, each time this is going to be recreated, repurposed for those markets. The other unique thing we're seeing about content with ABM is it's different types of content in a lot of cases because it is really tailored more one-to-one. We see companies using things like direct mail very effectively, trying to integrate that into their broader marketing. Things like video and interactive where they can get some engagement data. But again, really switching from that broad, big rock asset for ebook that works for everybody and trying to be really targeted to who they're communicating with. The other thing, once you get past orchestration and content messaging, is reach and coverage. So data is really key for audience. Data is really key here in reach and coverage is, do I have all the context within organizations that I need to be influencing? Do I have the right updated contact information? Do I have it across channels? So if I need to communicate to them via email, maybe I need to try to connect with them on social. I want to have my tele team follow up with them. Do I have the right phone numbers, addresses if I'm doing direct mail? And then being able to do that across channels. So advertising becomes really key in the companies we talk to that are doing ABM well. So being able to do retargeting to them, using tools like channels like LinkedIn, but finding and identifying advertising tools to be able to make sure you have reach and coverage within those companies is really critical. Then finally, measurement is another key. So all of this, it requires different sets of measurement. So companies have used their CRM systems and marketing automation systems well to drive activity-based and track activity-based engagement over time. But with measurement, it's really different looking at an account lens, so looking at how account-wide is engaging, and then thinking broader about not just this campaign, did they respond to an ebook or something, but over the lifetime of that customer, how much emphasis should I put in, and maybe how much budget should I put to them, and then thinking if you can track uniquely by content. So did a CFO audience respond to an ROI-focused piece? Should I be focusing more on those kinds of pieces in my content? Figuring out if you can then communicate that to your sales team so that they can make sure they're pressing those buttons and talking about that language when they follow up. And then ultimately gaining insights from the measurements you're doing. Ultimately, all of this should feed what's our next topic that we should be talking to. So maybe you had a sidebar in one of the messages you did, and that really seemed to resonate. You saw people clicked on that, and then you're able to build that out as a whole separate play or a topic in some of the channels that you're focused on going forward. Finally, for us, it's about balance. We felt like a lot of the companies we talked to early on in ABM were kind of going all in, and we're forgetting that they needed to do some of the more traditional branding over time and to broader acquisition as well. So we're seeing the smarter companies are really taking a balanced approach. They're still doing acquisition marketing. They're still having that wider presence, but they're really just doing a distinct focused effort for their ABM strategy. So it's a quick glimpse of some of the key traits we see. Hopefully this is useful for you, and we'll continue to track these over time. Thanks again for your time today.